Minister. It's good to have you on Boardroom Executive Media Chat. Today we would like to dwell on the scope of Ajaokuta Steel Company. We'd like to know your views. There are some assertions that the chemical component of the coal that was meant to be used, the Nigerian coal from Enugu to run these machines, the equipment, are not of the same composition with the one that was used to run the plants, which was that of Russia. So for them to keep importing some of this coal, it's not feasible financially. And that is what led to the moribund of that company. And from that, Nigeria can no longer, that's what killed the dream of steel production in Nigeria. What's your take on that?
Well, that statement or the innuendo or whatever is not accurate, because Ajaokuta never produced liquid steel, so there was no test run. The technology that was adopted, which was the best technology at that time, today is still acknowledged as the best for mass production of steel. It's called the blast furnace. But since then, they've developed electric arc furnace. This produces steel in a cleaner way than the blast furnace. So most people now are using electric arc furnace instead of the blast furnace. But the blast furnace, if you look around the world, people that are using the blast furnace to produce steel are probably many more than people who are using electric arc furnace. Anyway, I won't say that. So saying that one coal that was used to test and all that, no, that's not true. Coal, if it's the right coal, then is the same anywhere. What is needed in the blast furnace to produce steel? The coking coal is called coking coal. It has certain property, coking, as in C-O-K-I-N-G. So the coking coal that is required is what is required in the steel production in the blast furnace. That we did not have in Nigeria. So Enugu coal is not a coking coal. But now, you see, that was then. Now technology has advanced. We found a solution for it locally. If Ajaokuta were to start today, they would not have to import any coking coal, because we now realize that from petroleum coal we can develop coking coal through a process. The scientists, they've demonstrated to me, they've produced it and they've come here. So we don't need to. As of today, if Ajaokuta were to start, you don't need to import any mineral. There are about 14 minerals that's required in producing steel in the blast furnace system. So if we were to use the blast furnace as it were in Ajaokuta today, we have all the minerals 14 required. The most important, of course, is the iron ore, which already was done then. That's what Neomco is for, produce the iron ore and send to Ajaokuta. But all the other ones are trace elements: dolomite, limestone, the coal, the coking coal, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. There are about 13 other apart from iron ore. All those ones we have in Nigeria. So if Ajaokuta were to start producing today, even through the blast furnace, we don't have to import any material at all. But even the solution being given to us now by all the experts that have studied Ajaokuta and the investors that are interested, we have a transaction advisor in place. Well, it's a process that started. We are hoping that we can bring it to a preferred bidder level before we leave office. Is to say that yes, let's continue with the blast furnace, which requires about another 2% to complete. The blast furnace was never completed. But let's bring in a new technology as well, so that we run both together side by side. So whoever is getting Ajaokuta, the proposal is that they will still run the coking coal that has been installed. Mind you, I said it's still the preponderance all over the world now, but such a person will bring in a new technology, the electric arc furnace, to produce.
From what you have said, is leading me to the next question, which I think you have answered, but not clear. So I want it clear. which is the concessionalization of the Ajaokuta steel. Is it true that it's going to be concessionalized? And if true, to who?
We are not doing the kind of concession we've done in the past, because that concession is a generic word. It's just a big word. What has been done in the past, which of course we have learned from, everybody you learn from your mistakes, is that Ajaokuta was given to people on a free ride. It's like, come and manage this for us, and there's this colloquial term: if you don't have a skin in the game, you don't have anything to lose. So what we've done in the past is that people had come into Ajaokuta to have a free ride, and of course we were the worst for it. Nigeria was the worst for it. We came out bruised. So what we're doing now is that, you see, whoever is coming to take over Ajaokuta now, as we speak, we have about 12, 13 investors that are interested. So it's not that Ajaokuta is something that we are begging somebody. 13 people are scrambling to come in. But whoever is coming in now to come in on equity basis, we're going to have a skin in the game. Like I said, you must bring in your own money. So government will, because it's owned by government now 100%. So we have different proposals. Some are saying they would like to have controlling shares. They want to do 60%, leave 40 for government, so they'll have control. Some are saying they will do 50-50. So some people have even proposed, okay, they would like to have 60, sell 35% to the public in Nigeria, take it to the stock exchange, and then government will only hold 5%. That's a golden share. Government holds 5, the public Nigerians will hold 35, the investor will hold 60. All sort of permutations. But sincerely, nothing is cast in concrete. I'm saying that we have proposal. Whoever comes out as a preferred bidder for Ajaokuta, we will now do the final negotiations, and then we'll know. But one thing I can assure you is that what we are planning is that nobody is coming to have a free lunch in Ajaokuta again. It's going to be, you must bring your money. So that's the difference from what has been done in the past, and lessons learned.
Thank you so much. Now, let's talk about your office. How do you harness the huge gains and potentials in the mining sector?
Well, President Muhammadu Buhari has been very good to this sector. It remains unique in the fact that he is the first president in the history of Nigeria to grant extra budgetary allocation to the sector. And that's what was needed. This sector lacked funding. Past presidents before President Muhammadu Buhari had spoken about diversification of the economy, let's diversify through mining and all that. But it's only been word of mouth. The president that put the money where his mouth is President Muhammadu Buhari, and in 2017 granted extra budgetary allocation of 30 billion naira to the sector, which was judiciously used. Now, half of that money was committed to exploration, which is what mining is all about. Mining is all about data, and you need to acquire that data for you to attract the right investors. It's sort of called the risk in the sector. And now, we've been able to do that in the ministry. Mind you, the 30 billion seems like a big money, but you see, when we dedicated out of that to exploration, the 15 billion there was $50 million in 2017 according to exchange rate. But the area covered by that money, that 15 billion, is less than 1% of this office of Nigeria. So more money still needs to be put into the sector. So my advice to incoming administration, to get the maximum benefit and not to lose the momentum that we have attained. We are somewhere now that where when I started, people were asking, is Nigeria into mining? They didn't know us. So Nigeria is known for oil and gas, but not mining. But now the tone has changed. People are coming, they are inquiring about Nigeria. Investors want to come. Since they've been in office, we've signed a few investors. Some people just brought $50 million to mine gold in Babasauni here in Abuja. The deal was signed in the conference room downstairs. It was between two private people, but because I initiated that when I was in London in January of 2020, I spoke about that deal, and the investor picked it up. It took a while. They checked the records, crossed the T's, dotted the I's, and last year, 2022, the deal was signed there, $50 million. They brought it in, and that's just the first tranche of investment. Other investment are coming like that. The Canadian company that is doing gold out of Elisha in Osun State, and so on and so forth. So the momentum is on now. People know Nigeria for mining. Investors are asking. When we go for all these mining calendar events, you know, we go to Australia, we go to South Africa, we go to Toronto in Canada. Everybody's asking, oh, I want to come to Nigeria. So we've attained that momentum, not to lose it. Whoever is coming in next needs to build on that, you know, and government needs to fund the sector so that we can have more investors coming in.
Honorable, you have not spoken about our own local miners. How are you partnering with the local miners? I mean, the term PPP, because you're talking about the investors coming, the foreign investors, and because there are some also, there are some other assertions and simulations that because that I want to link the two questions now. That because federal government is in charge of the totality of mining sector in Nigeria, all the mineral Nigeria, and that has given all these foreigners, the foreign investors, to come and exploit. How do you correct? Is that correct? And again, the issue of local miners.
Well, the first thing, let's look at what is the second question. I'll take that first. Is a matter of the Constitution. The framers of the Constitution, in their wisdom, decided to give all the minerals, you know, to the federal government to be administered on behalf of all Nigerians. And sincerely, I'm over 60 years today, and I've never had anybody complain that why is the federal government administering oil and gas, which I can say every state in this country has benefited from. Nobody complains. Now, everybody has partaken in that lunch. Now, all of a sudden, you discover that you have gold in your own backyard. You want to now say, no, I don't want anybody to partake. I want to hold my gold to myself. Now, and I say it's fair enough. If today we say, yes, let everybody go to your tent, O Israel. Let the people that have the oil take the oil away. That is Bayelsa and all that. Some states will collapse within 2 months before they are able to exploit the minerals that they have. So, in order not to be selfish, let's be consistent. If the federal government is going to administer this wealth on behalf of all Nigerians and redistribute it, then let's keep it that way. Because you see, what I discovered in most African countries, the minister for mines is also the minister for petroleum, because petroleum is also the mining. Yeah, you mine the petroleum, it's just liquid. So oil and gas is still mining. It's part of the minerals that God has blessed us with. So if we give oil and gas and we all believe, nobody's complaining. Now all of a sudden, because we have gold in backyard, say give it to every state and all that. Yes, let it. People in Port Harcourt, people in Rivers, Bayelsa, they don't have gold, but they have gold. So let everybody take their thing today. If somebody says yes today, every state take your minerals, I dare say more than half of the states in this country will collapse. Because to develop the minerals they have in the backyard, it will take them a few years. There's a Yoruba proverb. You know, what essentially means that yes, you have a delicacy, but before the delicacy that you are thinking of, before it's cooked, what are you going to feed on? So these people, all they have, that they're not saying yes, devolve to the states, then let's devolve. So it does not pay. So let us leave it to the federal government. And besides, in the ease of doing business, it's easier when foreign investors come in to have multiplicity of rules and laws. You go to your state, they tell you to bring your arm and a leg, and when you go to Zamfara, it's your head that they want, and your torso. Investors get frustrated. But you come into a country and the laws are unique and one. You know what you are facing, and that's the mining laws, of 2007. Minerals and mining of 2007 is what guides and regulates the sector now. But the moment you say you give it to every state, then you have investors get frustrated and they move away. So that is that. Why the federal government should continue to administer, and don't forget, because in the oil and gas, people get 30% derivation. That is, whatever is mined from your state, you get 30% of that money first, before the rest is thrown into the pools to be shared. It's happening in mining as well. Whatever revenue comes from mining in your states today, I think Ogun State is the one that's benefiting the most, because all the cement factories, the biggest one, are in Ogun State, and they are mining limestone. So all the money that comes from limestone, Ogun State will get 30% first derivation. So that is what is happening. So what is source for goods is source for gander. Is what everybody is getting. The oil and gas people, they get 13%. You that you have money, you get 13%. The rest is shared in that formula that is in the federation account. When it comes to local investors, in fact, we had a plan where we are going around, we are doing a roadshow around the country. You know, we are doing in the regions. I think we did two in the southwest, we did Lagos and Ibadan. In the south, southeast, and then we did north central as well. We couldn't do the northeast because of the but essentially this program was to attract local investors in mining, you know, apprise them of the investment opportunity. A lot of people don't know about it. Even if you don't want to get involved in mining, you may want to just do processing, which is a lot easier. You have some people that are mining let's say lithium somewhere. We are saying that, look, there must be local beneficiation. You can't export raw ore. Those people that are doing small scale mining, they don't have the wherewithal to do processing. So you come and put a processing plant there. They mine, they sell to you, and you process and you sell on. Or they give their product to you, you process for them for a fee and return the thing to them. So there is opportunity, and we've done this going around the country, you know, attracting local investors, opening their eyes to the opportunities that are in the mining sector. We're doing this for local investors. So we're not just concentrating on the foreign investors, but mining, it's a painstaking thing. It's not like trading. You could put in up to 200, 300, 400, 1 billion naira over a period of 3, 4, 5 years before you start making anything. And that is what a lot of people who do not have the patience can't come into mining. I can give you a particular example. I won't mention the man's name. It's a company who was prospecting for lead in Ebonyi State. It took him 7 years, this man, to find the lead in the right quantity. But in those 7 years, they had spent over 400 million naira in the exploration project. In this period, no single earning. He did not make a couple. He was just spending money. Because you file reports with us, so we have data. But now, he has struck the load, what he's looking for. Maybe for the next 20, 30, 40 years, he will make billions. But how many people have that patience? Every day, we are 1, 2, 3, 4. They're just spending. As they are getting sample, you go and test. You send the test abroad, you send the test. We have our own laboratory in Kaduna now. You send the test there, they give you analysis. You have to dig again. You are paying experts, you are paying for equipment, you know, because you have to do boreholes. So you are paying for the rig, you are paying for the operators, you are paying for fueling. So you're just spending money. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. Some you may be lucky, maybe it takes you 5 years to get to where you're going. Some maybe 3 years, maybe earlier. But in this particular, it took that guy 7 years. So a lot of people had given up because since I've been in the sector, that's what I found out. A journey of 5 years. Some people only get to second year and they're tired. All this money I've been spending, no return, and they withdraw. It's a loss. Because unless you take it to the conclusion before you can start making money. That is why you don't have just anybody in mining. It's not like your normal trading business. I put 100 million today. In 6 months, I expect to have made 120. You know, 20% gain. No, it's painstaking and it takes time.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. You said 30 billion was able to take care of just 1% of the.
Actually, it was 15. 30 billion was given to us in 2017. Half of that was used for exploration. The other half, of course, was some other things that needed to be done in the sector.
So now, what would your advice to the incoming government? Because I want your forecast now. What do you, in terms of figure, what do you think the next government should invest?
Well, you see, mining is not.
That will take the sector.
Mining is not just a one-time you put money there. It's a continuous thing, okay. And that's another kudos for President Muhammadu Buhari. When the law that we're using now is called the Mines and Minerals Law of 2007, when it was done, gathered experts, from the industry, academia, practitioner, everybody was there, from government as well, and that law was carefully crafted. And in that, they created a body called SM, is a parastatal of the ministry, SMDF, Solid Mineral Development Fund. All banks in Nigeria are averse to mining risk. No bank, as I say, I'm telling you, will give you any money now for exploration in Nigeria. No bank. They are averse to risk. Well, you see, I've just told you, this is a man who has spent 400 million. Maybe the man has a deep pocket of his money, but can a bank give you that kind of money in 5-7 years? No, even if you give them that cash flow, that okay, you give me 400 million for 7 years, and I'm not paying anything back. I'm not making any money. So the bank will run away. The way you're not making any money within 6 months, 1 year, they see your cash flow, they are not there. So this body was created by government. It was a fund to de-risk the sector. When it was created in 2007, it was supposed to be capitalized with 500 billion naira. That was the kind of money that is needed for SMDF to play its role. Because now you are creating a fund that belongs to government, that understand mining. It has experts in there, and they can assess and access funding. So if you come to them that, oh, I have the exploration project, I need 100 million naira, or I need 200 million naira, they can look at it and give you that money, because they can take the risk. That fund was created so that to take care of that part where you can't get money from the bank. But it was more of lip service. Since it was created, it was not funded. So SMDF could not play its role until last year. When I came in 2019, it was one of the things I picked up, and thank God we succeeded with the president. The president has approved money for SMDF now on a monthly basis from the federation account, which accrues from National Resource Fund. So they get money, it trickles down every month. Depends on what comes in the federation account, they get a little bit of that. So the SMDF is now beginning to build a fund. They can now live up to their name as a fund. It was just a glorious name. They were empty. They didn't have money to give anybody. Now, what I would suggest for the incoming administration is to strengthen that. Even give more on a monthly basis to that fund. As I said, it's not a one-off thing. If that fund is able to build its capital base to the 500 billion that's required, or even more, if you build to that level, if our government does not need to get involved in the risk in the sector anymore, that will be a government body that will be ready to de-risk. So any investor that is coming in, even Nigerian investor that want to participate, and wants to do exploration, is interested, can get his acreage and go to that fund, write a proposal. Okay, I think I have gold there. This is what I want to do. Look, I can bring 100 million to the table. Let the fund give me 200. We'll do this, and they can either partner, give loan, and all that. That's what SMDF is. The experts there will judge every case on its own merit, and they will invest. The fund will grow, the sector will grow. So the incoming administration, I will advise that they need to strengthen that fund, by at least let them get to their requisite capital quicker. Then they can play their role in that sector. So that's going to be my number one advice to them. They need to put money in the sector, especially through the SMDF.
Let's digress a little to you now. When you're done here as a minister, what next? What should we expect to Nigeria?
Well, I've had plans. I wanted to give back to society, mentor people in my profession. That's always been my dream. That is to go back to school, and give back at whatever level. I've even considered that maybe I could go back to my secondary school and be a housemaster. And it's something that I've thought of. Because it's not for pecuniary gain. It's just to give back. All along I've been thinking, okay, let me go back to my university. I went to the University of Lagos, the School of Architecture, University of Lagos, and trying to give back from what I've acquired knowledge-wise and all that experience, and use that to mentor the upcoming architecture students, the future architects. But then there was this, we do this annual boys reunion in my school. I went to Government College Ibadan, and I was there, I think it was last year. Was it 2021 now?
Last year.
It was last year. And I was there, and I saw these kids. When I visited on a Thursday, the reunion normally goes over a week. So I was there on Thursday. I was at the school premises, and then I saw these from one student. Yes, one student, they come now. They came to me and I said, and I looked at them and I said, I was like this at one time. And, you know, and I was talking to all of them to ask them to recite the school song and all that, you know. And that brought a lot of nostalgia, you know. I remember when I was, and, you know, the future was so far away then. They would play. And I said, maybe I should come and be a housemaster here. You know, I can talk to these children and help them and guide them as well. So that's the kind of thing I would love to do, just to give back. Not for pecuniary gains, but just to give back from what the knowledge I've acquired, the experience I've acquired over these years in the private sector and in the public sector, to be able to use that to enrich humanity. That's what I would love to do when I leave office.
So to wrap it up, what would be your advice to Nigerians in terms of the mining sector, industrial industrialization, and manufacturing sector, and all that? Do they have to be patient for, because it looks like this thing is a long-term investment?
Well, generally I would advise Nigerians that I'll go a bit spiritual this time. From where I come from, it says pray for your leaders. You know, don't curse them, because whatever the mistakes they make, it's going to affect all of us. So be patient with your leaders. When they are not doing right, pray for God to guide them so they can do what is right. But be patient. You know, we have no country, other country to call our own. And you see, Nigeria, it's a potentially great country, and we'll get there. You know, but we all need to do our part, because, like I said, the growth of Nigeria, the reality is always down to the last man. When I say the last man, what I mean is, I see, if you are the policeman on the road, do what is right. They've asked you to be there to secure lives and property. Don't go there be collecting money from people, shooting people who refuse to give you. If you are the last man at the border post, a custom officer, somebody wants to smuggle something in or take something out illegally, do what is right. You are contributing your own quota to Nigeria. So always to the last man, because it's easy for us to just blame everything on government, and this government is not doing well. But ask ourselves, the recent challenge that we had, look at the exploitation from the POS people. We had some people from the banks, you know, selling, because there was scarcity and all that. We're not pushing. So it always comes down to the last man. Do what is right.
5,000 to collect 5,000.
Yeah. So do what is right. And that will be my advice to Nigeria. And that's why I say I'm going to be spiritual. Do what is right. You know, what you will think that, yes, I would love somebody to do to me. Do what is right to your country. You have been put in charge. You are the face of the whole 200 million Nigerians at the border post. Don't allow what should not come in to come in. Don't allow what should not go out to go out. People who smuggle petrol out in tankers, they are borderlines. Tanker is not something that, you know, just take like a twinkle of an eye. They move slowly. When they carry full load, they go through a path. People see them. Do what is right. That's my advice to Nigeria. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. It's good and worth your time, sir.
Thank you.